We are living through the greatest, most silent theft in human history. Nobody is breaking down your door in the middle of the night. Nobody is holding a weapon to your head. Nobody is forcefully dragging you away from your dreams, your family, or your ultimate potential. Yet, every single day, you are being robbed entirely blind. The thief is not a corrupt government, not a violent criminal, and not a physical enemy. The thief is the glowing rectangle of glass and metal that you keep in your pocket. You are willingly handing over the most precious, unreputable, and strictly finite resource in the entire universe, and you are trading it for absolutely nothing. You are trading the irreplaceable hours of your mortal life for cheap, synthetic dopamine. You are trading your sovereign mind for temporary, paralyzing numbness. We have become a generation of obedient addicts, completely terrified of our own thoughts, running endlessly on a digital treadmill that leads straight to nowhere. 400 years ago, the French philosopher Blaise Pascal made a chilling observation about the fundamental tragedy of human nature. He wrote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Read that sentence again, and let the absolute horror of its truth sink into your bones. Why is it so incredibly difficult for you to sit in a silent room with no music, no screen, no podcast, and no artificial distractions? Why does a mere 5 minutes of absolute silence feel like unbearable psychological torture? It is because when the external noise finally stops, the numbing agent wears off. When the screen goes dark, you are forced to finally look at yourself in the mirror of your own consciousness. You are forced to listen to the quiet, persistent, and ruthless voice of your own conscience. And for most people living today, that voice is absolutely terrifying. What exactly is that voice saying? It is telling you the truth you have been desperately trying to outrun. It tells you that you are wasting your potential. It tells you that you are aggressively procrastinating on your life as actual work. It reminds you of the cowardice in your daily choices, the empty promises you made to yourself on New Year's Eve, and the quiet mediocrity you have somehow accepted as your fate. So, to silence that brutal honesty, you instantly reach for the phone. You flood your brain with endless, meaningless information. You watch another empty video. You scroll through another curated feed. You drown the painful truth of your existence in a massive, shallow ocean of digital garbage. You convince yourself that scrolling is a form of relaxation. You tell yourself you are just unwinding after a long day. But it is not rest. It is extreme cognitive exhaustion. You are forcing your brain to process the highlights, the tragedies, the fabricated outrage, and the artificial beauty of 10,000 complete strangers every single day. You are systematically burning out your dopamine receptors, leaving you completely exhausted, empty, and chronically depressed despite having done absolutely no real work. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote an entire brilliant essay on this exact tragedy, 2,000 years before the invention of the internet. In his masterpiece, On the Shortness of Life, he observed how easily, how carelessly people give away their time. He wrote, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." Think about the absolute insanity of this paradox. If a stranger walked up to you on the street and demanded that you give them $1,000, you would laugh in their face, call the police, or physically defend yourself. We fight fiercely for pennies. We negotiate salaries. We lock the doors to our homes to protect cheap plastic televisions and replaceable furniture. Yet, we happily, voluntarily give away thousands of hours of our irreplaceable life to social media algorithms meticulously designed by billionaires to harvest our attention. You guard your cheap, physical possessions with your life, but you leave the vault of your time entirely unguarded. You act as if you are going to live forever. You live as if you have an infinite supply of tomorrows. Understand the brutal, undeniable physics of your existence. Your time on this earth is not a renewable resource. You cannot work a second job to earn more time. You cannot borrow it from a bank. Every single heartbeat is a countdown. Every breath you take brings you one step closer to the inevitable grave. When you spend 3 hours mindlessly scrolling through the perfectly edited lives of strangers, you are not just killing time. You are literally, mathematically killing a piece of your own life. You are taking a segment of your existence that you will never, ever get back, and you are throwing it directly into a digital fire. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius woke up every morning and reminded himself of his own mortality precisely to avoid this pathetic trap. He wrote in his private journal, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He understood that distraction is not just a bad habit. It is a profound, unforgivable disrespect for the miracle of life itself. Look at the absolute tragic state of modern society. We walk through the physical world like mindless, hypnotized zombies, our necks permanently bent forward, our eyes glued to artificial light. We sit at dinner tables with our aging parents, our spouses, and our children, but we are not truly there. We are physically present, but psychologically entirely absent. We have completely lost the ability to focus deeply on a single task, to read a complex book, to hold a meaningful, uninterrupted conversation, or to simply observe the quiet beauty of the physical world around us. Our attention spans have been shattered into a million tiny, frantic, desperate pieces. We are constantly, nervously searching for the next notification, the next shallow validation, the next microscopic hit of digital dopamine. We falsely believe that we are consuming content, but in reality, the content is consuming us. It is eating our ambition. It is eating our creativity. It is eating our capacity for profound thought. It is eating our very soul. You must deeply realize that the modern world is deliberately engineered to distract you. It is a highly sophisticated, multi-billion-dollar psychological machine designed to keep you weak, passive, predictable, and entirely hypnotized. Because a distracted mind is a controllable mind. A person who cannot focus for more than 30 seconds without touching a screen is a person who will never build an empire, who will never write a masterpiece, who will never lead a revolution, and who will never challenge the status quo. By surrendering to constant distraction, you are voluntarily stepping into a psychological cage. You are choosing the easy comfort of digital numbness over the necessary pain of discipline, struggle, and genuine growth. You are choosing to be a pathetic spectator in the fake lives of others rather than the powerful protagonist of your own magnificent story. The ancient Stoics practiced a rigorous mental discipline known as prosek, which translates to the absolute, unyielding vigilance of attention. They understood a fundamental law of human psychology. You literally become what you pay attention to. If you pay attention to garbage, your mind becomes a landfill. If you pay attention to gossip, outrage, and cheap entertainment, your character becomes shallow, brittle, and weak. But if you protect your attention, if you direct it strictly toward wisdom, difficult tasks, and the present moment, your mind becomes an impenetrable fortress. It is time to wake up from this collective digital coma. It is time to aggressively reclaim the sovereign territory of your own mind. The ultimate act of rebellion in the modern world is the refusal to be distracted. The ultimate superpower, the one skill that will separate you from the messes of sleepwalking humans, is the ability to sustain deep, unbroken focus. You must learn how to sit in the quiet room. You must learn how to face the demons of your own thoughts, your regrets, and your anxieties without cowardly reaching for a digital pacifier. Let the boredom wash over you. Let the internal anxiety rise to the surface. Let the silence crush you until it stops being terrifying and starts becoming a beautiful, unshakable sanctuary. Within that terrifying silence, you will find the exact clarity you have been desperately running from. You will find the hard answers that cannot ever be discovered in a comment section. Take back your attention. Defend your time with the ruthless, unapologetic aggression of a soldier defending his homeland. Treat every single hour as a precious, irreplaceable gem. Stop trading your brief mortal life for the pathetic illusion of connection. Disconnect from the matrix of cheap dopamine. Put the glowing rectangle down. Look up at the physical sky. Look directly into the eyes of the people you love before they are gone forever. Do the hard, grueling work you have been avoiding for years. Read the difficult books that challenge your worldview. Lift the heavy weights. Build the business. Face the brutal, magnificent reality of your existence. You only get one chance at this brief, fragile, and beautiful life. Do not let it bleed out quietly through your fingertips while you stare blankly at a piece of glass. Reclaim your mind, master your focus, and watch how quickly the world bows to a person who is truly, finally awake.